imaging that we used to do. We don't do it anymore, and they took it off of the ART guidelines. So it's kind of like I didn't add any more to my notes as far as lecture, and I didn't, anyway, they're going to be really easy lectures. That's what I say. That's what I say. Oh, and by the way, the seniors and I, we went to a test-taking strategies workshop yesterday. It was really long. It was almost too long. It was like 3 hours. But the guy said that he did, in his research, he found that writing things out was one of the best ways to remember. He said make little pictures, little drawings. He was just giving some good tips as far as, he said, and cramming doesn't help. I know you guys cram, but he said that doesn't help in the long run, which in the long run, what do you guys have to do? You have to take the registry. So, and if it comes around again next year, I think I'll take you guys. The seniors were, I think they were kind of bored because it was really long, but there were, if you just picked out a few good things, it was really a good lecture. All right, you have to, I'm not going to go over this, it's self-explanatory. The salivary gland handout, there's a picture as well. Just look at it. I don't need to explain it or read it. It will be part of your next test. It says salivary glands, and there's a picture on the back. Everybody have it? Okay. All right, gallbladder. We're going to talk about the gallbladder and the biliary system. This is a little bit of a repeat. I think I went over at the end of last semester, so you probably have it in your notes previously. So first of all, we're going to talk about the liver. If you remember, the liver is the largest gland in the body. And it's the largest solid organ in the body. What's the largest organ in the body? Skin. All right. Okay, composition of the liver. I didn't write it all down. The liver is considered wedge-shaped. The widest portion of the liver is the upper border, which lies under the diaphragm. The greatest length is along the right lateral border. Right lateral border. In the average person, the vertical length can extend, so the right lateral border, or the vertical length, can extend to the 4th lumbar vertebrae. So it goes way down there. L4. Okay. There's 2 major lobes to the liver. The biggest one is the right lobe. It occupies most of the right upper quadrant, RUQ. Okay, the second major lobe is the left lobe, which is smaller than the right. And it lies partially in the left upper quadrant. Left upper quadrant. So it goes a little bit into the left upper quadrant as well. The 2 major lobes are divided by this thing called the falciform ligament. There's two minor lobes to the liver. These are located on the medial side of the right lobe. The medial side of the right lobe. A lot of times you have to, I don't know if you've ever done the cat autopsy, but you have to kind of pick up the right lobe and you can see the two minor lobes. Anyway, that's kind of how they're situated. The two minor lobes are called the caudate. Don't worry about exactly where it sits. It's in your book, but don't worry about it. The second minor lobe is the quadrate. Okay, the liver itself has two sources of blood going to it. It's kind of unusual, right? Usually you only have one going to an organ and one leaving. This has two sources of blood going to it. The first one is the hepatic artery. Hepato means what? Liver. Okay, so the hepatic artery has arterial blood, which is oxygenated or deoxygenated? Oxygenated. Good. So this is oxygenated blood, which supplies the liver. Okay. The second source of blood going to it is the portal vein. The portal vein contains portal venous blood, which has nutrients in it.
You said anything about the port change vein? That's what.
Say that again?
Yeah. Number 2 under hepatic artery.
Portal vein.
It's pronounced portal.
Portine
vein.
What the heck? I don't know why. I have no clue why I did that.
I was screwed up just now.
I don't know. Portine? I have no idea. Portal. That's weird. Okay, so it's the portal vein that has portal venous blood that has a lot of nutrients in it. Remember, from these organs. So those nutrients are processed by the liver. So the liver gets the portal venous blood and it processes it. Okay, portal venous system is composed of these things right here, which you need to know for your test purposes. Okay, number 1 is the stomach. Number 2, large intestines, which would be intestines, which would be large and small. Number 3 is the esophagus. 4 is the gallbladder. 5 is the pancreas. And number 6 is the spleen. I thought I was gonna run out of room, so you need to write this down. So the liver processes this venous blood, and then the venous blood leaves the liver via the hepatic vein. Oh. So, I don't know if that's exactly where it goes, but let's just say that's the hepatic artery. Oh, So that's the portal vein going to it. And that's the hepatic vein leaving it. The hepatic vein joins the IVC. IVC, what does that stand for? Inferior vena cava.
Oh.
Where did you get, you guys got that in your blood flow?
Mhm.
Okay. So the hepatic vein joins the IVC. Where does the IVC go?
The heart.
What part of the heart?
The right atrium.
Good. So then the IVC goes to the right atrium of the heart. Okay, liver functions. There's over 100 different functions. Which I won't go over, but the main function as far as we're concerned, it produces bile. The liver produces about 1 to 3 pints of bile a day.
How much?
1 to 3 pints.
Why did you have to do pints?
I don't know. It was funny when one of my students from a long time ago, he works at Moffitt, or he used to work at Moffitt. He said, you know, that was on, you guys aren't supposed to tell me exactly what's on the registry. He goes, that was on the registry. I'm thinking, they don't put that kind of stuff on there, but that's what he said. Anyway, he just thought, I remembered it from when you said that. But anyway. Okay, so what is bile? Exactly. What is bile composed of?
Enzymes?
Yeah, there's probably enzymes in there, but as a whole,
It says salt and cholesterol.
old red blood cells.
Oh.
It's mainly composed of old red blood cells. So it's their waste product, I guess you can say. Okay. The function of bile is these two words, emulsification and assimilation. Okay, emulsification means breaking down. And assimilation, in this case, means transforming of food products via digestion to living tissues.
Pardon?
Into living tissues. That's in this case. Transforming of food products via digestion into living tissues. It's kind of out there, but anyway, that's according to your book. Okay, contents of bile. We have bile salts. It also has a lot of cholesterol in it. And the bile pigments you need to know is bilirubin. Which is the main waste product of your RBCs, red blood cells. We do have a bilirubin test out there. What kind of test is that?
It's blood test.
Blood test. Okay, so they draw blood to check your bilirubin, and if it's high, what does that mean?
It's not
You have liver problems. Your liver's not processing like it should. So if you have a high bilirubin, your liver process it. The bile is staying in your blood. Yes, ma'am.
That's when you're jaundiced, isn't it?
Good, all right. So if you have a really high bilirubin, you are jaundiced.
Let's see.
Which is that yellow tinge that I'm sure you all have seen.
What did you say about the red blood cells relating to the bilirubin?
It's just a product of the old ones.
Okay.
I think
Happened to my cousin, his eyes turned yellow in his face and everything, so he had to get a liver transplant.
oh wow,
Yeah,
really? And you got one successfully?
yeah, it was recent too.
Really? Where'd he do that?
It was in New York,
Oh,
and I don't know what hospital he's at.
yeah, the yellow eyes are creepy looking. Yeah,
Although we were,
Yeah. A lot of alcohol.
we were in Jamaica and his belly was like this,
yeah,
because he was retaining all the water
yeah,
and like salts and everything, so.
yeah.
And he didn't like, he literally didn't pee for like 2 days. And then like when he did pee, he felt so much like pressure relief. It was just,
Yeah, they get the big ascites. In fact, I saw a guy walking down the middle of the road yesterday on my way home from work with a big, huge belly, you know,
and he's skinny like this too.
Yeah.
Like, he real skinny, but his stomach's huge.
yeah.
Look pregnant.
Yep. Yep. That's sad. Okay, pathway of bile. So we're gonna describe the pathway. All right, first of all, we have the small ducts of the liver, the little teeny ones. They come together and form the two main hepatic ducts. Those are known as the right and left. They're known as the right and left main hepatic ducts. Okay. Those two join to form the main hepatic duct. Take main off, put common, sorry. The two right and left hepatic ducts join the common bile duct, or common hepatic duct. Getting myself mixed up. Okay, so number 3 is the common hepatic duct. The common hepatic duct, if the bile is going to the gallbladder, it joins the cystic duct. The common hepatic duct, if the bile is going to the gallbladder, it joins the cystic duct. Sometimes it doesn't go to the gallbladder. If it does, then it goes via the cystic duct. Sometimes the gallbladder's full, so it says just go straight. Okay. Moving our way downward is the common bile duct. Okay, so you can say the cystic duct joins the common hepatic duct to form the common bile duct.
Repeat that one, sorry.
The cystic duct joins the common hepatic duct to form the common bile duct. So right here is the common bile duct. All right, here's where it gets kind of edgy. Sometimes the pancreatic duct joins the common bile duct. Okay, the pancreatic duct is also known as the duct of Wirsung. So over here, this is the pancreatic duct coming from the pancreas. Sometimes it joins the common bile duct. It creates this enlargement, I guess you can call it, called the hepatopancreatic ampulla. So it kind of makes it kind of large right there. Also known as the ampulla of Botter. That ampulla is controlled by a sphincter muscle. Known as the hepatopancreatic sphincter. Which is also known as the sphincter of Oddi. Final destination is the descending duodenum. So when does that sphincter open and let the bile out?
Digestion when there's fatty food.
So when you eat a bunch of fatty foods, that releases a hormone. I'm not going to get into it. I think I got into it. Cholecystokinin. I think I got into it last semester. It might be coming up. I think it's coming up. Anyway, it releases a hormone, and that sphincter says, okay, I need some bile to digest. So it opens up, and bile comes into the descending duodenum. Remember the duodenum? That's where most of digestion takes place. Okay, so you're probably saying, all right, so if the pancreatic duct and the common bile duct don't unite and make this big old ampulla, what happens? They just go in separately. Some people don't have this. There's a separate opening for the pancreatic duct and the common bile duct. Just go like this.
Do they still have the sphincter?
They call it sphincter of Oddi, no matter which, if it's both or one. Yeah. So most of the time is what they told me, what someone told me, I think 80% of the population, they join, they come together. Anybody seen an exam when they were looking for the sphincter of Oddi, the common bile duct? ERCPs? No? Not yet? You will. They do still do ERCPs. It takes them forever to find what it is with the little scope anyway. Making sure I covered it. All right, that's it for the day. Don't run off because we're going to do a little student government meeting. Since you're, yeah, okay. So, which one?